Hello, everybody, and welcome to the August 6th, 2018 edition of the Ephrom Josine Show. I am your host, Ephrom Josine. Anyway, I moved the angle over here. If you wonder why I'm using a laptop camera, the camera on my PC is just a white screen now. And it's like that in files, too, not just while recording. And I moved the laptop over here to make fun of that kid Douglas. Just watch Equestria Redacted if you want to know about that. But let's talk about news. First off, Donald Trump, the president of this very okay nation, recently said he would meet with Iran, quote, without preconditions. Of course, the Iranian prime minister immediately said, no, we're not going to meet with you. Partly because his administration is filled with people like John Bolton and Mike Pompeo. Don't forget, what was his name? Robert something. I know his last name was Flint. I'm just going to call him Flint. Flint legitimately wanted regime change in Iran. He was Donald Trump's first national security advisor. John Bolton has no regrets about Iraq and wants to do the same thing in Iran. Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State Pompeo, wants to invade Iran. Now, to be fair, I don't know whether or not Mattis has specifically said he wants to do regime change. I'm actually going to look that up right now. James Mattis. Yeah, he has honestly said in the past, Jimmy Dore covered it recently, of him saying, yeah, we need to do regime change in Iran. He said in June, we need to do regime change in Iran. He wants more military presence in Iran. Just like the neoconservatives have wanted for years, because make no mistake, his administration is filled with neoconservatives, and the president canceled the Iran deal, which was the toughest on Iran deal I've ever seen. It legitimately made them essentially give up most of their defense, and then you have to lift sanctions and give them back their own money. Wow, we're being so nice to Iran. But mind you, I do support meeting Iran. I want to make that clear. I'm against war. I'm against regime change. I'm against all of them, typically. And I don't feel like Iran has provoked anything. And may I remind you all, we have military bases literally around the entire country. However, this is the big however, I feel like the president shouldn't have screwed it up in the first place. And meanwhile, can we talk about how he's essentially doing the exact opposite of the Truman Doctrine by meeting with North Korea before he met with Iran, which I supported the North Korea summit, by the way. But you think that maybe Iran's a little better than North Korea, personally? I mean, both of them really haven't attacked us, I'll give them that much. But, you know. Now, I'd like to, for that matter, say, because we here at Ephrom Josine, if you cannot tell, the Ephrom Report, are not fans of Donald Trump. There's this lie in the liberal circles that he's the worst thing that could possibly happen. And let me show you the worst thing that could possibly happen. Bill Kristol considers run for president in 2020. Now, this is from the Daily Caller, so I have no clue how accurate this is. It probably isn't accurate, but even if this isn't, I still like it. Bill Kristol, if you do not know, is a neoconservative who is infamous for being wrong about literally everything. He said we'd be in and out of Iraq and that the oil would pay for the war. But remember, guys, the war had nothing to do with oil. Then we'd be in and out, and we'd be greeted as liberators. And he predicted that, another thing he predicted was, in 2008, Hillary Clinton would win the primary against Barack Obama and John Edward. No. Just no, that did not happen. That never happened. To be fair, though, a lot of media said that at the time. They were actually, when Hillary Clinton started running in 2008, they basically started acting like she had a nominee right then and there. But, okay. The former editor-in-chief of the Weekly Standard, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think was the paper that tried to convince that directly Bush cited as the reason he went into Iraq. I could be wrong on that, though. is considering challenging President Donald Trump in the 2020 Republican primary. Crystal, who is continuously one of the most vocal anti-Trump Republicans, and if you don't know, by the way, because Bill Kristol has worked in the White House once before, he was chief of staff to Dan Quayle. I worked for Dan Quayle. Like, anyone else, it'd be a mark of shame except Bill Kristol. Like, they'd be having their head low, like, I worked for Dan Quayle. Bill Kristol is so proud of that fact. Oh my god. Has been considering a run for months. A source familiar with Kristol's thinking told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Kristol, who remains an editor-at-large for The Standard, said he has no plans to run, but declined to rule it out when asked by the DCNF. No plans to run, but I randomly in Boston today, and happened to have a lunch with someone who does a lot of work in New Hampshire. Kristol wrote in an email, as he'd say, "Ya never know." Now, of course, we know that there are going to be some people who try and run against Donald Trump. I already do think Jeff Flake is probably going to run and fail. But here's what I want. This is really what I do want, for the record. Donald Trump is obviously a given. He's filled out the paperwork, and even then he's the president. Jeff Flake's a maybe, but he's not pathetic enough. Here's what I want. Here's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do. I tried to think of the most ridiculous 4 anti-Trump Republicans that could possibly run. Here's what I came across. Bill Kristol. He's obviously already going to run. George Will, that columnist who's just so stupid and goofy. Joe Scarborough, the guy on Morning Joe. And, of course, Glenn Beck. That's who I think need to run in 2020. And in case you didn't know, by the way, Kyle Kalinske recently created a change. He didn't create it, sorry. He asked one of his fans to, and they created a fake change.org petition specifically to get Bill Kristol to run in 2020. My god, it's the greatest thing ever. And in case you're wondering, to connect this to what we were talking about earlier, Bill Kristol does want to invade Iran, let's be clear. William Kristol is an American neoconservative. This petition has 268 signatures, and they are all completely ironic, and I love it. Sorry, 271. I'll just tell you how many it has after I'm done reading, because change.org get really annoying. William Kristol is an American neoconservative political analyst. He is a very accomplished political commentator and a vocal supporter of the Never Trump movement. In the past, Kristol pushed for the liberation of Iraq from Saddam Hussein. Which, great work there, Kristol. Now, Kristol is a righteous crusader against Donald Trump, which certainly makes him one of the most principled and moral Republicans standing. He stands up against tyranny and has criticized what he calls the Trumpified Republican Party. Everyday Americans are looking for a hero, and I believe I'm speaking for this is dripping with sarcasm, by the way. I'm speaking for most Americans when I say Bill Kristol holds the best chance to defeat Trump in 2020, so I'm calling on him to prepare a 2020 presidential campaign. We're all looking forward to seeing what he can do. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Bill Kristol. And God bless the United States of America. And here are some quotes from Bill. The world order of the past 70 years has been good for U.S. and world. Maintaining it will require more American leadership, not less. And, of course, the war in Iraq was right, necessary, and we won it. And this has 290 signatures so far. All of them completely ironically. I'm a signer, actually. But I encourage all of you to sign it. Here are some reasons, by the way. I need a laugh, and so do you. That's one of my personal favorites. I'm signing because I love the military industrial welfare state complex war economy, and I'm sure there are still some regions in the world we haven't destabilized yet with regime change, like Scandinavia. Fucking leftists and their whole month's worth of paid vacation leave, happy and healthy workers with socialized healthcare, and what's up with the diversified economy? We definitely need to set them up to be a single crop economy like we did with Venezuela. All of the profits going to American corporations, of course, so they can have income inequality at modern day American levels. Someone was just honest with, because Bill Kristol will get his ass whooped by Donald Trump. I enjoy toppling democratically elected governments and replacing them with despotic neoconservative regimes. What else? Oh god, just all of these. They're so great. I want Middle East occupied forever. This gonna be hilarious. And of course, there's Kyle's reason, because he promoted this on Twitter. Kyle Kalinske at Secular Talk. As mentioned earlier, he wanted someone to create this. Here's what he had to say. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Censorship. Okay, all that. Petition to get Bill Kristol to run for president in 2020 so he can get 14 votes total, and we all laugh until we die. Anyway, that's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.